Jeff Kennett, thank you so much for your time. Labor, the Greens and the media left, plus some on the Liberal left, say the party lost because it went too far to the right. I can't identify the right-wing policies they're talking about, but is that how you see it?
No, I don't, Andrew, and good evening. We lost the election because of the mistakes we made, and there were too many of them, and the last one being, of course, when we said we weren't going to honour Labor's tax cuts. Whenever has the Liberal Party supported higher taxes? So, no, we lost the election because we failed. And when you make mistakes, there are consequences. It had nothing to do with the left or the right. It was just the way in which we presented ourselves to the public.
I cannot believe to this day that a Liberal Party goes to an election promising higher taxes in a cost of living crisis. It absolutely floors me. Some on the Liberal left are now saying, well, promising nuclear power stations was a huge mistake. That promise must be scrapped. Should it be?
No, it should not. And that was the one thing amongst our policies that was futuristic, that said to Australia, we are going to put in nuclear power as a component of the energy supply to ensure we have consistent energy, not only for households but for industries in the years to come. Announcing it was right, that was a good policy and it should not be dropped, and we should continue to articulate it and to advocate for it.
Must object to you using the word continue to articulate for it, because obviously that was barely done in this last election campaign. How about start to articulate a good case for nuclear power and win on the argument rather than try to run from your own policy?
We're right to announce it, and the moment it was announced, we should have had people prepared to come out and support it from a scientific point of view. Our spokesman did a good job, but there wasn't enough of it. So I would be very, very distressed if the Liberal Party dropped that component. And those who argue for dropping the advocacy for nuclear power, Andrew, are totally ignoring the fundamental errors that were committed in the campaign. Obviously, working from home, obviously the decision to sack, 41,000 public servants without knowing where they were going to come from, etc., and then the tax break. No, it was not a good campaign. So no point trying to blame the one part of our offering that for Australia's interest made a great deal of sense.
Jeff Kennett, the new Liberal leader, it seems to be a battle between Susan Lee, who's backed by the Liberal left, and Conservative Angus Taylor. Normally I would say go for the Conservatives. They tend to win elections for the Liberals. But I have to say that Taylor could now be damaged goods because of the terrible economics policies in this campaign, like the tax policy you're talking about. Is Susan Lee now the best option, even though she hasn't been very effective in pushing policies herself?
Andrew, I'm not interested in supporting or indicating who I'd support based on left or right. That doesn't interest me at all. I am looking for the person who will bring the party together in a disciplined way, who has a lot of worldly experiences, who has parliamentary experience, and who is, in this case, being a very good loyal deputy. And Susan, to me, is that candidate. I think she has the capacity to bring the party together. I think she has the capacity to present a different image of the Liberal Party to the public. And I think, and I know that as a woman, she will listen better than a lot of men will listen. So to me, she's the obvious choice. I'm not going to be able to vote for her as I'm not a parliamentarian. And this has nothing to do with Angus Taylor or anyone else. It's my assessment.
In your long career in politics, have you seen a worse election campaign in Australia than this particular Liberal one? What lessons should the party take from it?
No, I haven't seen a worse one, Andrew, state or federal. From our point of view, as you remember, oppositions don't win governments, governments lose it. In this case, once only, the opposition lost the election and gave the Labor Party a free kick. Having said that, it's history, it's gone. I'm not interested in apportioning blame. I want to learn from the mistakes, but I'm very, how would you put it, focused on the future. And please remember, for those commentators, journalists who are saying the Liberal Party is shot, yes, we've had a bad election. But in life, things change very quickly, and you only have to look at the outcome of the Canadian election to realise that the opposition was London to a brick on to win, and then they lost because of Mr. Trump coming to the fore, and that all happened in a matter of weeks. You and I and your viewers have no idea what Australia, what the world is going to look like in 3 years' time. So, given that's the factor, we in the Liberal Party, or any other politician, has both got to advocate what we stand for, what we offer, what the future holds, and secondly, we've got to be prepared to go out there and argue against those things that we think will damage the country. The sadness about this election, to me, the greatest sadness, is that neither party put a stake in the ground for the future, with the exception of nuclear power. There is no understanding by our community as where our politicians want to take Australia 5 years and 10 years from now and how we're going to get there. That is the greatest failure of this election, more important than the Liberal Party's failure.
Jeff Kennett, I could not have said it better. Thank you so much indeed for your time.
Great pleasure. Stay well.